Malicious compliance revenge wasn't something Mara Ellis had ever planned. Around the office, people whispered about corporate revenge as if it required shouting, lawsuits, or dramatic resignations. But she would discover that the most devastating office revenge could begin with nothing more than following every rule exactly as written. The office smelled of burnt coffee, printer toner, and lemon polish, while fluorescent lights hummed above rows of identical grey cubicles. Mara Ellis sat at the smallest desk on the floor. Her keyboard clicked steadily while conversations drifted over the cubicle walls. "Did you see the budget report? He's in one of his moods today. Don't leave before he signs your timesheet." Mara didn't join the chatter. She simply adjusted another spreadsheet, corrected another invoice, and quietly fixed another mistake someone else had made. She'd been doing that for 6 years. No one noticed. Except her manager. Victor Hale noticed everything, especially opportunities to remind people who was in charge. By Friday afternoon, Victor appeared beside Mara's desk with his usual polished shoes and rehearsed smile. "I've reviewed your workflow," he announced, loudly enough for nearby employees to hear. "You're spending too much time making judgment calls." Mara blinked. "Judgment calls? I don't want initiative." Several heads turned. Victor continued. "From now on, you will follow written procedures exactly as they appear. No assumptions, no exceptions. If it isn't documented, don't do it." She hesitated. "Even if it's obvious?" He folded his arms. "Especially if it's obvious." Mara looked at him for a long second. Then she nodded. "Understood." Monday morning arrived with the smell of wet umbrellas and fresh photocopies. At 8:01 a.m., Mara received an invoice from the purchasing department. The supplier had forgotten to include a department code. Normally, Mara knew exactly where it belonged. She had fixed hundreds of these. Instead, she opened the procedure manual, page 34. Invoices lacking complete information must be returned to the requesting department. She returned it. 10 minutes later, someone called. "Hey Mara, can you just add the code? It's obviously facilities." "I'm sorry," she replied pleasantly. "Procedure says I can't." "But you've always done it." "I've been instructed not to make assumptions." Silence. Then, "Seriously?" Exactly as instructed. By Wednesday, the office had become strangely noisy. Phones rang longer, people walked faster, stacks of paperwork grew taller. Every incomplete form came back. Every unsigned request was rejected. Every missing initial required a new submission. Mara smiled politely through every conversation. "I'm following procedure." Those 4 words spread through the building like an infectious melody. Victor called her into his office. The room smelled of expensive cologne and fresh leather. He shut the door. "What is going on?" Mara folded her hands. "I've been following your instructions." "Projects are stalled." "I know." "The maintenance team can't order equipment." "They forgot Section B." "The finance director is furious." "The expense report wasn't signed." Victor rubbed his temples. "You know perfectly well those things don't matter." She tilted her head. "They matter according to the manual." He stared. "So use common sense." "I'd love to," she paused. "But you specifically instructed me not to." Victor left without another word. The next morning, he emailed the entire department. "Employees are encouraged to exercise reasonable discretion where appropriate." Mara read the message twice, then opened the procedure manual. No such policy existed. An hour later, another incomplete contract landed on her desk. She replied, "Please provide written authorization updating Procedure Manual Section 4 before processing." Victor stormed across the office. "I sent the email." "The manual says written procedures." "The email is written." The manual defines procedures as documented policy approved by executive administration. She slid the handbook across the desk, highlighted, page 12. He had signed that revision himself. By Friday afternoon, 3 floors of administration had slowed to nearly a standstill. Delivery trucks waited outside. Payroll couldn't finalize overtime. Maintenance couldn't replace broken air conditioning units during the hottest week of summer. Every delay pointed back to one sentence: following management instruction exactly. Executives began asking questions, not of Mara, of Victor.
The meeting lasted 2 hours. No one on the office floor heard what was said. They only saw Victor leave the conference room carrying a thick binder and looking 10 years older. The following Monday, every employee received a revised operations manual. The introduction read, "Staff are expected to apply professional judgment when resolving minor administrative issues. Reasonable initiative is encouraged." Beneath it sat 3 signatures: Human Resources, Operations Director, Victor Hale. Just before lunch, Victor approached Mara's desk. He cleared his throat. "I'd like to discuss expectations moving forward." She looked up. "Of course." "I may have been too rigid." She waited. "I appreciate the experience you've developed." It wasn't an apology, not quite, but it was the closest thing his pride could manufacture. Mara offered a small smile. "I appreciate the clarification." He nodded awkwardly before walking away. That afternoon, another invoice arrived. No department code. Mara recognized the supplier immediately. She picked up her pen, filled in the missing information, and approved it within seconds. Across the office, conversations resumed. Printers hummed. Phones stopped ringing endlessly. Someone laughed near the break room. The machinery of ordinary work came back to life. Her co-worker leaned over the cubicle wall. "So, everything's normal again?" Mara stamped the final page. "I suppose so." "Was it worth all the trouble?" She looked toward the updated manual resting neatly beside her keyboard. Its pages were crisp. Its rules were finely written to match reality. She smiled, almost to herself. "I never broke a single rule." The rain outside had stopped. Sunlight slipped through the windows, catching the fresh ink on the newest policy. Sometimes revenge wasn't loud. Sometimes it sounded exactly like obedience.